Kael faces a teamwork challenge with Lyra as Ignis attacks in the distance. Riven watches, testing loyalty and courage. Subscribe to Turmoil Studio to follow the adventure. The forest slept under a muted shroud of pre-dawn fog. Every droplet of dew caught faint streaks of dim moonlight, turning the forest floor into a scattered constellation of silver. The child pulsed softly, its gentle glow bouncing across Kael's armor as he crouched on a moss-covered boulder, scanning the horizon with unwavering focus. His mind cataloged every shadow, every subtle shift of fog, the slightest tremor in the soil, the way leaves quivered against branches. His breath came measured, each inhale and exhale aligning with the rhythm of the forest, as if synchronizing with some unseen heartbeat. Lyra adjusted her bowstring, testing tension with exacting precision, each movement silent, deliberate, controlled. Her eyes, sharp and unwavering, flicked from tree line to mist, calculating angles and trajectories, anticipating movement before it occurred. Thorne's eyes darted from shadow to shadow, analyzing depth, distance, and potential ambush angles, calculating trajectories for both defense and offense simultaneously, mentally mapping the battlefield in layers. Seraphine's aura shimmered faintly, warming the surrounding air, stabilizing the ground beneath their feet, and responding instinctively to micro-vibrations in the soil that none of the others could detect. Riven's fists crackled faintly with contained lightning, coiled like a spring ready to strike, each spark reflecting his focus and measured restraint. The forest seemed suspended in time, holding its breath as if aware that this dawn would mark the first real test of their unity against Veynar's orchestrated assault. Every leaf, every droplet of dew, seemed part of a larger stage, waiting for chaos to ignite. Then the forest shivered. Shadows erupted from the fog, curling and lashing like black serpents. Tendrils struck with uncanny precision, each seeking to probe, to destabilize, to test reflexes. One snaked toward Kael with lightning speed. Instinctively, Kael raised the broad sword of dawn, igniting it in radiant flare. The tendril struck his blade with a hiss of dark energy and dissolved into black mist. Sparks and fragments of shadow sprayed across the damp forest floor, settling like drifting ash. Lyra dropped from a low branch, spinning mid-air. Two arrows flew in mirrored arcs, each piercing shadow stalkers before they could close in. Landing with cat-like grace, she scanned the tree line, eyes narrowing. "They're coordinated," she murmured. Not probing, swarming. Her voice was calm, but her grip tightened imperceptibly. Each arrow's release was deliberate, every stance planned to maximize efficiency and minimize exposure. The child pulsed violently, its light flickering like a warning beacon. Shadows slithered through the mist, testing strength, measuring reactions. Seraphine immediately extended her aura outward, forming a radiant golden shield that absorbed the first corrosive strike. The impact shattered into crystalline fragments, sparkling briefly before fading. Thorne dove beneath the shockwave, dual blades slicing upward, severing a hidden attacker clinging to a tree root. "They're adapting," he observed, scanning chaos with clinical precision. Every movement, they anticipate instinctively, not adapting. Riven corrected, vanishing behind a sniper-type shadow preparing a projectile. His dagger struck true, extinguishing it instantly. Directed. Someone is controlling them, feeding them intelligence. Kael barked. "Form up. Now." The first wave surged. Tendrils wrapped around trees, snapping branches, hurling rocks, shaping the battlefield itself. Roots lifted, stones tumbled, the forest obeyed Veynar's orchestration. A towering brute emerged. Its arms fused into obsidian hammers, jagged and dark as molten glass. Its eyes glowed faintly red, reflecting some malicious cognition behind its form. It roared, shaking the earth with each step, rushing Kael with crushing force. Kael met the strike head-on. Sword met hammer, sparks flying. The impact reverberated, sending vibrations through his arms, muscles screaming. Step by step, he drove the brute backward, cutting tendrils and debris with radiant arcs of precision. Every motion was calculated, every strike deliberate, yet instinctive, honed by hours of training with the Grand Master. He felt the brute's power like a tidal force, yet his confidence in the team steadied him. Each heartbeat, a pulse of courage. Lyra climbed a high branch, releasing 3 arrows simultaneously. One pierced a flank attacker, another neutralized a stalker about to ambush Riven, and the last split mid-flight, striking 2 illusions. "They're reading my angles," she whispered, scanning the fog for any subtle shifts in the attacker's formation. Veynar is feeding them intel. Her eyes narrowed as she adjusted her aim preemptively, anticipating the next move, almost predicting the attacker's responses. Thorne recalculated positions. "They're pushing us toward the western ridge. It's a trap. Split focus, and we're dead." His voice was calm, detached, yet every word carried urgency. "We carve our own path. Take initiative." Kael's jaw hardened. "We create our own path." With a burst of speed, he carved through tendrils, radiant light cutting through the fog like dawn breaking. Seraphine flowed beside him, aura flaring, stabilizing terrain, absorbing shockwaves, reinforcing weakened ground. "Stay centered. They're testing endurance, not just strength," she called. Riven moved like a shadow, appearing behind attackers to deliver controlled bursts of lightning, eliminating threats before they could coordinate. "Every move is pressure," he said, his eyes flicking for anomalies. The child pulsed frantically, light flickering across Kael's armor. Its alarm radiated tension through the group, alerting them to the psychic pressure emanating from Veynar, a subtle manipulation of fear and anticipation designed to fracture the team's cohesion. The first wave subsided, leaving the forest eerily silent. Shadows had withdrawn temporarily. Kael exhaled slowly, eyes sweeping the tree line. Lyra's bow remained taut. Thorne's gaze recalculated formation. Seraphine's aura pulsed steadily. Riven's fist sparked lightly. The child flickered, steadying itself. Every hero was alive, intact. Yet the toll of mental stress and physical exertion weighed heavily, unseen but sensed in the rigid lines of their posture. Then the second wave surged. This time, the shadows moved with tactical intelligence, pairing attacks to divide attention. One set of tendrils toward Kael, another aimed at the child. Smaller figures, attempting to flank Lyra and Thorne. Kael anticipated the movement. He vaulted over a snapping root, blade slashing in a wide arc, severing 2 tendrils in a single motion. Lyra mirrored his movements, arrows slicing through shadows, her body moving with dancer-like grace and deadly precision. Thorne calculated angles, intercepting decoys, ensuring no shadow isolated the child. Riven disappeared in a flash, appearing atop a fallen log. His fists pulsed with electricity, sending precise shockwaves to knock shadows off balance, using them as projectiles against other attackers. Seraphine's aura expanded, pulses timed with the team's movements, stabilizing Earth beneath Kael's vaults and Lyra's landings, softening the impact of debris. Every strike, every dodge, every adjustment reflected their growing cohesion. Each movement synchronized like a living organism. The second wave ended, leaving the heroes breathing heavily. Trees bore claw marks, roots broken, fog swirling. The child's pulse slowed, but remained wary, sensing Veynar's lingering presence. Kael scanned each hero. "We're holding, but he's learning." Lyra nodded, eyes sharp. "Every wave, it's a test," and we passed barely. The third wave began, with illusions' forms twisted like the heroes themselves. Shadows mimicked their attacks, forcing Kael and the others to think twice before striking. To differentiate ally from illusion, Kael parried an illusion of Lyra, countered a mirror Riven, and rolled beneath a false Seraphine. Arrows from the real Lyra pierced illusions before they could strike. Riven's shockwave shattered several simultaneously. Seraphine's aura glowed, stabilizing collapsing ground. Thorne moved like thought incarnate, slicing illusions and arcs to protect the team. Finally, the giant returned, larger, more sinister, black mist pulsing from its form and merging with smaller shadows. Its arms, now jagged and tipped with razor-like claws, slammed into trees, sending splinters into the fog. Each step carved grooves into the forest floor, trembling with malevolent energy. Kael, Lyra, Riven, Seraphine, and Thorne coordinated seamlessly synchronized movement, instinctive teamwork honed by prior training. Lyra fired arrows mid-spin, each striking multiple targets. Thorne vaulted, dual blades slicing the giant's legs, destabilizing it. Riven climbed its back, embedding blades into its pulsating core. Seraphine unleashed a radiant burst, weakening regeneration and scattering surrounding shadows. Kael leapt, striking a final radiant blow into the core. The giant collapsed with a deafening crash. Trees shuddered, fog swirled violently, shadows retreated, hissing. Victory was temporary. Veynar's influence lingered, strategic and unseen. Kael's voice cut through the clearing. "We've survived this dawn, but the battle has only begun." The forest fell silent once more. The child pulsed gently, light steady, reflecting the hero's unity. Veynar's whisper echoed through the trees. "You survived. The opening moves. But dawn will not save you again." The words dissolved into mist. The rising shadow had begun, and the forest, the heroes, and the child all understood the truth. The next wave would be even deadlier. Kael exhaled, muscles trembling. "We're ready." Lyra's gaze remained sharp, unwavering. Seraphine's aura glimmered gently, steady. Thorne's mind raced, already calculating contingencies. Riven's eyes scanned the horizon for unseen threats. The child pulsed, balancing hope with caution. The heroes moved forward, unified, aware, and prepared. Their first victory a lesson in survival, teamwork, and trust. The rising shadow would test them again, and they would be ready.